Josh. There you go,
What's
man.
going on, Fabian?
Not much, mate. Not much. So thanks for coming down. Appreciate it.
No worries, man. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries. I'm glad it finally happened.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to it for a while. So.
I know, yeah. So we're trying to get ourselves organised and slot things in, and it gets pretty difficult. But yeah, thank you for your patience.
No, anytime, man. Anytime. It's worth it. It's always worth the wait.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, what's actually going on with you blokes at the moment?
Just, man, busy. Always busy. It's just recording, writing, filming music videos, prepping for a tour that we got coming up, and
where are you going on tour?
Keeping busy. So we're over to the East Coast, in I think was it 14th of September.
Yeah, right.
We're going. Weeks. Yeah, it's getting close. We're going to, I think it's Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, and then our last show of the tour is back here in Perth.
Yeah, cool. I think I actually might have saw your tour flyer thing. You're playing at the Bad Luck Bar in Brisbane, eh?
I think so.
I went there a couple months ago. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool venue. It's spun out. The stage looks like a kind of like a half pipe.
Really?
It's weird. Yeah, you're like in this nook, and it's kind of like all like rounded edges.
Yeah,
it looks like you're in like a pigeonhole or something. It's weird. It's random. Yeah.
I'm down for it.
The sound wasn't great though.
Wow, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm like, this sounds like it's going to sound like noise.
Yeah.
But
yeah, who did we see there? We saw a Nicolas Cage fighter.
Sick.
And Shokan, saw them, and they all put on an awesome show, but the sound was, I don't know, it was just fucking pretty shit. Depending where you stood, but I guess that's like anywhere really. Depends where you stand, but overall I was kind of like, shit.
Yeah.
Not great.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Well, that's the thing. Like, we have no idea of what any of these places are kind of like. Any of these venues are like. So
you just toured before?
No. Well, some of us in the band have, some of us haven't. But not as a band.
Oh, okay.
So far. So
you've used. Obviously, I don't know any of you guys in the band at all. So we use some used previously in other bands, or
yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
For sure. Pretty much. Well, all of us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So our drummer James used to be in Perth band Havoc. I don't know if you remember them.
Nah, I live under a rock.
Yeah, fair. They did pretty alright. I think they did a few tours and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
And then Jack, our vocalist, and Jordan, our bassist, were in a band called Moments, who did pretty well in Perth as well.
Yeah, okay, all right.
And then me. We don't really need to talk about me.
Is this your first band, is it, or?
This is, I've been in 3 other bands. And then also done a bunch of, I don't know if you remember, do you remember Last Night? Like the thing that Amplify used to put on every Thursday?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember, they used to do like these like cover sets where they'd like grab a bunch of people, put them in a band together and be like, you're covering X, Y, Z.
So it was like random? Kind
of, yeah. Or it would be like one person that volunteered to take it on, and then they would go and find everybody else to kind of complete the band.
So it was like the Roadrunner United
thing. Yeah. So it's like, I did.
That's cool.
The Ghost Inside cover set and Architects cover set.
Yeah, right.
As well. And I kind of used to just jump in and out of little things. And
that's like, a good way of networking, eh?
Yeah.
I should still do that.
Yeah. Well, I met a bunch of people. I think that's how I got real close with our drummer, James. Because I played, I think, both of those cover sets with him.
There you go.
And was just like, man, this dude is insane.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a crazy drummer.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I love his drumming style. Because I was listening to, is it The Anatomy of Violence?
Yeah.
Didn't want to get that wrong.
No, you're right.
I was listening to that a fair bit lately, on and off, and I do like the drumming. I like everything about it, to be honest. It's actually really inspiring to me because lately I've been getting into fucking around with synths and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember when I was growing up, or when I was a teenager, because I'm 37 now. So when I remember when I was listening to Rage heaps before school, I'd put it on, and there was like Bomb Funk MCs and stuff like that, and then Korn, and then Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit, and I kind of love that kind of that style of drumming that Korn has and Limp Bizkit, and that's funky kind of.
Yeah.
Even though I wouldn't say your music's funky at all, but it's got
groove.
It's got
like
that groove,
like
that
head bobby
that's
kind of like.
I love that, and that's and some of my favourite drummers play that style, like Dave McClain and stuff like that, and I love that. And Dave Silvera from Korn, just loved his drumming style in Korn. That was so fucking cool.
Yeah, man.
And I love the the off hits with the snare.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
I'm with it too. Yeah. It's so sick.
So yeah, when I heard your stuff, because like I said, admittedly, I lived under a bit of a rock before I was in this band. I didn't really ever go to gigs in Perth unless it was a big band. So or unless I was kind of out in Perth and we happened to just go to a gig. I've never been part of the music scene or anything like that.
Yeah.
So before I was in this band, I didn't know anyone really. So it was all my bandmates kind of knew people because they were in Nucleus, like our vocalist and bassist.
Okay. Right.
So they knew a few people. And so I wasn't really exposed to you guys. I'd kind of heard of yous, but I didn't know shit about you, to be honest. And then I think I just started adding bands and that on Instagram, just checking out. I was like, oh, if I'm going to play gigs, I should probably know who the fuck's playing gigs and all that. And then stumbled on you guys, and then I was listening to your stuff you're putting out. And I was like, fuck, I fucking really, really like this stuff. It's so inspiring to me because I'm starting to write stuff like that, like using synths, fucking around with that. And then I just loved all the electronic aspects you're adding in. I'm just like, fuck, man, this shit's just fucking so fresh to me. And like I was saying to someone else an episode or so ago, I was saying I haven't really listened to much metal in a long time that's really kind of blown me away, or that I've really, I'm bored of metal. Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah, I love playing it, but
it's so easy to get that way.
Yeah, and I'm just like so fucking over it. And then I've heard your guys' stuff, and I was like, I really enjoy this. It's fresh. It's fucking cool, man. So
sick. Thanks, man. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
it's good to hear.
Yeah,
we do try.
Yeah. So going on to that, then, what's your influences for that kind of stuff? Who writes most of the music for you guys?
That would be me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do just the riffs, or you do arranging, like you're like, right, this video, maybe do this drums? Do you kind of do that as well, like work out what drums are going to be there?
Pretty much everything.
You're like me
then. Yeah. So I'll generally write guitars, most of the synths, and I'll do just kind of like bass line drums. Yeah. Like bass line MIDI drums, just to sort of put everything in context. And then once I'm kind of like happy with how everything's sitting, I'll send the blank track over to James, and he'll kind of fill out the drums and really like do his thing with it. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, it's just me sitting in a room like this. Yeah. Just chopping away at stuff. Hey,
that's cool, man. That's pretty much how our band works as well. I'll do the same thing. I'll pretty much just work on all the riffs, and then I love drums, so I'm always like, I can't play drums, but I just love the sound of them. So I'm always, but actually, probably I reckon a good at least half of my riffs start with a drum beat in my head, like just a cool like drum beat, and I'm like, fuck,
yeah, cool.
I wonder if I fucking play kind of this, and then I'll like might map it out on Reaper. Yeah. And then I'll just put on a loop and then just play along, come up with a riff, and I'm like, that's fucking cool.
That's sick. I need to try that.
Yeah, I don't always do that. That's probably maybe half, or or sometimes of how I come up with stuff. But but I just love making fun drum beats. And then our drummer, I've kind of just figured out how he plays. So when I do get him over to because he can't program drums, so you're saying you send yours off to James. Mm-hmm. That's the name, James.
Yeah. We call him Jimmy.
Or Jimmy, yeah. Yeah, so our drummer, doesn't know anything about programming drums, so I just get him around, and then we'll just chill out and go, righto, and I'll play bits of the song. What do you think of this? And then we'll solo the drum track, and he's like, and he's usually probably 90% of the time there's nothing he'll change. You might just go, oh, I probably wouldn't do that. Maybe do this. And then I'm like, righto, yeah. And then he's like, fuck, you've pretty much got me figured out.
Yeah. So you're like, I don't even need you anymore, man, right? You're going to be a laptop. No.
But no, it's actually, from all the people I've spoken to, there's a fair few guitarists that program drums.
Yeah.
It's actually really common.
Well, I feel like it's kind of become necessary. Like, I don't know, it's just become part of the whole like writing process.
Yeah.
It's really hard to know what something's going to sound like exactly in context without it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because drums just change the feel of the riff dramatically. Hey?
For sure.
Like, I think because just you can change one small bit of the drums and it will completely throw the song a different way.
Yeah, for sure.
So
and it's like you'll track guitars and maybe like track bass and stuff, and it can just, a lot of the time it can sound very like kind of crunchy and messy. And as soon as you put some kicks in there and put some drums over it, just kind of tightens the whole thing up.
Yeah.
And then you can get an idea of like, okay, this is going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like one of our songs we've been writing. It's pretty much finished now, but on one of them, there was one bit of the song, every time I'd listen to it, I was just like, when you're just like, oh, something needs to change here. I don't know what it is, but something needs to change here. I just don't like this bit of the song. I like it, but it's not what it needs to be.
Yeah.
And then I remember I just changed the drum beat because it was actually a pretty up-tempo beat, and then I just made it like a halftime feel kind of thing, and I was like, fuck, just blew my own mind.
Yeah.
But it took me ages. It took me a couple of months to come to that conclusion.
It just works out that way sometimes.
Yeah.
You just get a light bulb moment.
That's right.
One day.
You'll be stuck on it for so long, and I don't know if you're like this, but if I get stuck on a part of a song, I can't sleep because it'll just annoy the fuck out of me. I get obsessive with things.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, fuck. And then I'll be at work, listen to it flat out on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. I've got to think of something.
I've figured stuff out, like, I don't know, like in my sleep, but like I've gone to sleep being like, this is really annoying me, and then woken up and just been like, oh yeah, okay, I'll just do that. That's fine. Yeah. And I do it and it works.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sweet.
Yeah. It's good when that happens.
But yeah, I'm actually a big like voice memo guy with writing. Hey.
Yeah.
I'm like at work all the time. Yeah,
I'm
I'm just like run to the boss is probably like, why is this guy taking so many bathroom breaks?
Got bowel issues?
Yeah. But I'm like, if something pops into my head, and obviously I work in a workshop and it's real like loud and shit, so I'll go in the bathroom and I'll be like, and my phone then I'll get home and I'll be like, okay, I don't even know what the fuck I said, but I'll try and recreate that. But
that's funny, man.
Yeah, that's where most of the stuff comes from. Hey. My voice memo list is just full of me, just like just real ASMR, like writing it, being like, dun, 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 dun.
You should send it to my missus. She loves ASMR stuff. Every night she's on her phone with her AirPods in, watching people like run their fingernails and going on glasses and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I can't deal with it, man. I can't deal with it.
Okay, I've said that makes my skin crawl. It makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Those people like eating and shit.
Yeah. She loves watching like chicks ripping open like lobsters and
they're like dipping lobsters in butter and shit and be like.
She's got our daughter into it now. Our 4-year-old like watches that stuff now.
Oh man.
I'm just like, oh, whatever makes you happy.
It wigs me out because I'm like, these things get like millions of views, and I'm like, that's such a random use of time.
It is, it's a strange.
Yeah. Oh.
So what were we talking about beforehand? Before the podcast, remember I said. Should save it for the podcast.
Oh, we were talking about gear and stuff?
That's right. Was it in-ears?
In-ears, yeah.
Yeah, so, that's right. Yeah, I asked, do you play with a cab?
Oh, right. No.
And in-ears.
Yeah.
So you don't have like a sound behind you?
Yeah, not anymore. I used to. I used to be big on having the cab on stage because I kind of like having a feeling of it.
Did you find that was necessary at first and then you kind of weaned yourself off it?
Yeah, well, I hadn't tried without a cab. I just had this idea in my head that you need a cab for that like stage sound.
Yeah, because you can feel it, hey?
Yeah. Because I'm like, obviously like the venue PA sits in front of the stage kind of thing. It's pushing all the sound out. And I was like, well, if I don't have a cab on stage, it's just going to be like dead quiet, and anyone that's standing real close to the stage, maybe like next to the PA, is not going to be able to hear anything properly.
Yeah.
But then I think one show, maybe I was like forced to play without one, and I was like, oh, this is fine. This is fine. It feels a little weird. Like, I don't know. I know some people think it's a bit of a cop out, just like being full digital, going through the PA, whatever. But honestly, it just makes it so much easier.
Well, that's like, you know, what you're saying, like with going full digital and stuff, like, because you obviously run backing tracks.
Yeah.
And we run them as well. And we played a gig in the Gold Coast earlier in the year, and someone apparently from another band made a comment saying that it was just kind of lame that we're using backing tracks. Like, why don't you just play everything? And then the way I probably used to think like that when I was a bit more simple-minded about things. But, but now I'm like, it's about the performance, isn't it, really? Like you go to a gig, you don't go to a gig to watch how awesome or how proficient someone can be. Oh, I guess some gigs you would if you're going to watch like a virtuoso or something like that. But you know what I mean. You're going to a gig for a good time to hear some good music and experience the performance, and you know what I mean. And to me, as long as it all sounds awesome, I don't give a fuck if that guy's playing just some of the main things and there's other embellishments on the backing track. I don't care. Like, because I know what goes into it. I know that you had to play that stuff anyway that's on the backing track or whatever, you know.
Well, exactly.
If you've got a guitar solo on there, it's different or something. You know, I think you should be playing that.
Exactly, yeah. I think, like, for me, it's, especially if, say, someone's, like, come to the show to see us, right, because they, like, enjoy our music. It's like, you enjoyed that product, that recorded product. You enjoyed that. That's got 20 different tracks on it. There's so much shit.
There's no way you can play that live.
We're a 4-piece band.
Yeah.
It's like, it's either we use backing tracks to kind of give you like the full experience, or we don't, and what you're hearing is just empty shit.
That's right.
Basically.
And that's you go to the gig for the experience of the, you know, so. Yeah.
And don't like, obviously, I'm big on like, don't use your backing tracks to do your job for you.
No.
It's there to back you up.
Yeah. Like, it is disappointing when you see like a vocalist or something, they kind of pull the mic away, but you can still hear something going. And it's like, that's kind of, I don't really agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
But backing vocals, that's fine.
Yeah.
But for the main vocal, yeah, definitely not. I don't think that's fine.
Some people probably thought we had a show. What was it? It might have been Make Them Suffer and Gravemine at Amps. I think we were sound checking, right? And we had our like laptop up and blah blah blah. And something was messed up with our laptop. And we hit play, and our vocalist Jack has a guide track just going through his ears. So it's just like his vocal in his ears. Like, it doesn't come out the front or anything. And for some reason, when we were sound checking, it started coming out the front. So it's just this like full vocal, and I can see people are kind of like, are you? Is that whole back? And we're like, no. We're like, something's fucked up here. So we don't like, there'll be like a couple of backup sort of vocals like here and there, stuff like that. And maybe like some harmonies on my like clean vocals and stuff. But other than that, we all are like very adamant that we need to do our jobs.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Bit of a change of subject. Who did you the video for? Is it Blade Runner, the one where he's in rooms, like red rooms?
Oh yeah, the like cubes.
Who thought of that?
So that's
so fucking cool,
man. Yeah. This guy Brendan C. Shout out, where's the camera? There it is. Shout out Brendan C. I don't want to say his last name because I'll probably murder it, to be honest. But he is we wanted to try and be a little outside the box with who we got for a videographer. So we were like looking around, and I think it might have been our bassist Jordan stumbled upon this clothing brand, and they were like videos shot for that, and they just looked really cool. And we saw the name attached to it, so we hit him up. He was super reasonably priced, and he was like, yeah, I'm down to do this. So he did the Claustrophobia and the Blade Runner clips.
Yeah.
And he's more of a like hip hop kind of dude. Like he does a lot of like hip hop and rap videos and stuff like that. And yeah, he just kind of like came to the table with these random ideas, and we're like, this is sick.
Yeah,
let's do this. So
it's different.
Blade Runner was we actually filmed like a bunch of other like B-roll stuff for it. But it ended up that we just used the kind of cube stuff, and all that movement that you see in the video, he did that in like post.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah.
Like obviously we're not in 4 cubes next to each other, but
floating through space.
yeah. But yeah, watching him do that was crazy. He's a super cool dude. He's done like he's done some more like promo photos for us and stuff because he does photography as well, and he's like a real talented guy.
So he's located in Perth, is he?
Yeah.
Right.
He works from is it Inglewood? I don't know, somewhere like sort of near the city type of thing. Yeah.
It's memorable, that video. Like it's, you know, compared to a lot of the videos, typical metal videos, it's really cool, man.
Yeah.
It's really fucking cool. Eye-catching and yeah, definitely memorable. It sticks out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Something a little different.
So who has the final say on a lot of the artistic stuff with that? Is that kind of you?
We try to push most of the artistic kind of stuff to our vocalist Jack.
Yeah.
Because he's really good with that kind of thing. But we're still at the point where everyone kind of like has their say, and we have to kind of land on
democracy.
Yeah. Which, look, honestly doesn't work that well.
No. There's got to be someone that's going to call the shots, otherwise no one can agree on anything.
Yeah, for sure. That's like we're kind of the same with the writing process and recording. Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, I'll write a track, I'll send it to the group, and it's always like one person will be like, this is sick, I love this.
Yeah.
And then 2 will be like, yeah. And then Jack will be like, just write something else. And I'm like, is it that easy? Okay. Let me just duck off for 5 minutes. I'll bring you something back. But yeah, it's something we still kind of need to work on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, creative stuff, that's we usually let Jack do that. Because he's good with sorting like clothing designs and stuff like that. He's been sort of responsible for most of our artwork stuff, and found a guy from, I think he's from Germany, who does like super cool photos that lets us use them for free and stuff like that. So
that's cool. Yeah.
He's great with that.
Yeah, because we're gonna release some new music probably early next year. So we're kind of on the hunt for, we're gonna get new merch done and all that stuff. So want to try something different to what we've always done.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely be looking around for some unique things to do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're on the hunt, yeah, I definitely recommend Brendan. He's sick.
Yeah, cool.
He's sick.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind for sure.
He'll help you out. I'll show you his Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, sure. I'm probably already following him.
yeah, probably. But yeah,
so,
I was listening to some of your stuff.
Oh actually. Yeah. What did you listen to?
It's sick.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, first one I heard was that track. Is it Subhuman?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this is mad.
Thanks. Yeah.
Do you guys still playing shows and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, just probably not till maybe the end of the year, because we got this new music and it's not the same sound we had before.
Okay. Switching it up.
Yeah, so we didn't want to have like half a set of shit that just doesn't sound like the rest of the shit. We wanted a bit more cohesion. So, so we were kind of like, let's just not play shows. Let's focus on getting all this new shit written. We've got 6 songs, so we're gonna think maybe. Probably, I don't know if I should say this or not, but probably going to release 3 first and then maybe 3 later, like a like a double release kind of thing, or like a couple months apart. Because the way I was talking to Josh Ang about it, we were just having a yarn about releasing stuff, and then it's because I was like, could do it all as singles, but then it just kind of gets forgotten. You know, people listen to the single, and then the next single, then the next single. You don't really have like something.
The attention span.
Yeah, and I think the 3-song thing you did is like the perfect length. And I think, and I was saying to the boys, I was like, we don't have a big enough fan base to drop an album and people are going to listen to it. I don't think, because we looked at the Spotify stats on our first EP. The first few songs have got way more streams than the rest. Like it goes down.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, I just think going by those numbers, maybe just do 3 songs. And then a couple months later, do another 3 songs.
Yeah, man.
And just do it as like a part 1 and part 2 or something like that.
Yeah. You kind of get more out of it as well.
Yeah.
That way.
Because I think, because we like all our songs we've written for this. So it's like, it'd be a shame to release like a 6-song release and then the first couple of songs get heaps and then maybe the closer on it's a fucking sick song.
Yeah. Because
you know how you assemble it, how you think you want people to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's like that's going to close out the album, but no one is going to fucking hear it because they're going to listen to 3 songs like everyone on Spotify. All right, next band. Yeah. You know, once you hear a couple of songs, you're like, all right, next band, I'm moving on.
People, I feel like it's not that common for people to listen to something start to finish these days. Yeah. Which is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, I don't know. The whole like doing singles thing, it makes sense now. But I don't
it's just the way it's consumed now.
It,
I don't either because I like to listen to like a chunk of songs from a band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a couple of songs back to back. And I think that 3-track thing you guys did, I was saying to our other guitarist, Sam, I sent him your Spotify link and I was like, because I was telling the guys and they were kind of on the fence about it. And I said, no, listen to this. I said, because if you're driving to work, you listen to the length of that, it's kind of like a typical drive to work, like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of the length of that thing from. And then by the time you get to work, it's enough. And then I said, but if say that had 6 songs, you would listen to maybe 3 of them, get to work. By the time you get back in your car later, you're going to probably put something else on. So I said, so we're going to be back in that predicament again. So I thought, why not just try that? It's a good chunk of music. And and especially, I think with the way people listen to music now, everyone's like chopping and changing so much with because of Spotify. I think after probably 15, 20 minutes, you're probably going to lose like a bit of retention anyway. Maybe, I don't know. I'm pulling numbers out of my ass there. I don't know, but I'm just guessing from our analytics, from our numbers. So
it makes sense, and especially if you can put out say a 3-track with the tracks being fairly like diverse and like feel. Yeah. Like if you have something like super quick, super heavy, and then you've got something a little slower, and that's kind of what we tried to do with The Anatomy of Violence, how you've got Claustrophobia, which is just like a hammer. Yeah. And then you've got Overdose, which is more like a chilled out kind of like trap hybrid type thing. And then you've got Blade Runner with the big choruses and clean vocals and stuff like that. And it's more of that one's more of a like a journey kind of thing. Yeah, I agree. It's good. That's kind of what I was saying to Sam as well. I was saying with our songs, like we got one song's 2 minutes. I think it may be 2 minutes, and it's just hits real hard, real fast. And then the next song is kind of like similar like Animals by Architects. Kind of that kind of feel, like a groovy, like mid-pace. Stompy, really stompy. Yeah. And then the other songs kind of like it's kind of like a kind of upbeat kind of thing as well. And that's another like 5-minute song. Yeah. So, but it's like a cool
chunk of music, and then the other 3 songs we got is very similar. There's another really short song that's kind of like a dealer pincer kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's a song that's got a bit of rap in it and that kind of stuff, and it's a bit more of a new metal kind of thing. And then there's the one other song that's almost like a ballad, and it's got a real technical guitar solo in it. So there's like
sweet,
and so both releases are similar in their composition as far as there's the way the songs are. There's like a short, fast one, and then this and that, but they also sound very different to each other.
Yeah,
but they still sound like us. And I was just like, this. I think it's going to be a really cool thing to do. So yeah. But that's why. Getting back to sorry about the big around the bush thing, but that's why we haven't been doing any gigs for a while, because I just want to stay focused. Because if I get distracted, I just fucking lose track, and then shit never gets done. And if I knuckle down on something, I obsess over it and I have to do it. So I said, just let me do this music, and then we'll worry about other shit after.
Perfect.
And then I said, with the in-ear thing, I said, well, I want to get good with that, because when we come back, I want us to come back hard and properly and do it properly, and no half-ass and shit, no sound like shit. We're going to be fucking tight, and so no gigs until we're at that level. Yeah. So otherwise, I don't want to bother. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm not doing any gigs at the moment. But we got one in December we're going to do.
Oh, sick.
So yeah,
I have to come out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd love to see you guys live too. I haven't seen you. So when's your next gig?
So the next one here is 22nd of next month.
Yeah, right.
I think it's the Friday on like a long weekend.
Oh, cool.
Kind of thing at Amps.
Yeah, cool. I'll come to that.
Yeah, I think it's so it's Conform, Atlas, us, and a newer band named No Guilt.
Yeah, I've seen them on a few gig posters.
Yeah. They're doing their thing. They're getting out there right now.
Is that like hardcore kind of stuff? There?
Yeah.
You can kind of pick it by the name.
yeah. Cool dudes. They're all they're all mates. Everyone in that lineup are kind of mates, to be honest, which is cool.
Conform's cool too. I don't know any of them guys, but
sick dudes.
I like their stuff too. My bandmate Sam's right into them. He loves their stuff, and he kind of put me onto them, I think. And I'm not super familiar with their stuff, but yeah, it's cool.
I think they're one of the most unique bands to ever come out of Perth, for sure.
Yeah. They've got their marketing down too. Is it one of their guys in the band is real good with like digital art and stuff, is he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I remember I was going down a rabbit hole on Instagram, and I stumbled on his thing, and then I was going through their things, and I think he designed a lot of their stuff, and it just like looked really edgy, really cool, and shit I hadn't really seen before, and I was like, man, that's fucking
They've got
fresh.
The sauce, man. They've got the sauce.
Yeah.
And they just, every time they put something out, it just pops.
Yeah.
Every time. Their fan base is like, they've obviously just got a real loyal fan base. And, they run up their numbers, hey?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so sick.
Yeah, well, I think use guys, Daybreak, and Conform, and like Out of Eyes and that, they're, some of the really cool stuff out of Perth at the moment, I think, that I really dig.
Yeah.
You're all doing your own unique thing too. Yeah. Good bunch of guys too. Awesome dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Got a lot of time for them guys.
I'm keen to check out their newest release.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
It's gonna be sick.
I've heard a bit of it. It's pretty killer.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's
because you had Ben on here, yeah?
Yeah.
Shout out Ben, man. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's lovely dude, man.
Yeah.
Nice young fella. He's growing up so fast too, because I remember when we were playing some of them underage gigs at Vision.
Oh, yeah.
What were they called? The Myers ones, Mosh in a Sanatorium or whatever the fuck it was called.
Ooh.
And I remember when they were first playing them, and they were, that was their first band kind of thing. And
kids.
But it's weird because that was not even that long ago. That was when our band started. They were kind of playing gigs at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, fuck, yous are fucking better than us now. But they're just so quick. It's amazing the transformation of when they started to now. It's crazy. It's it blows my mind.
It's cool to see, especially like younger people with that kind of work ethic.
Yeah, it is.
And that kind of push.
Because you see some of the older bands get stuck in their ways and just do the same Groundhog Day thing over and over and over.
Remember when I was younger in bands, I couldn't be bothered.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay,
Yeah. I just couldn't be bothered like being consistent with anything. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is too hard. It's like you start a band with your mates and you're like, you write some shit track that took you half an hour. You record it with a mate. You maybe pay $100 for a visualizer or something, or like a lyric video, and you put it out and you're like, all right, we're going to explode. Yeah. We're going to be huge.
And then the only thing is like your mum on Facebook. That's really nice, doll.
Yeah. I don't like the singing, but everything else is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. That's why I've now learned to tame my expectations. Or I don't really have any. I just want to enjoy being in a band, and for a while there I got real caught up in numbers and fucking trying to figure it out, and I was like, there's and I was like, that is, man, and I was like, there's actually no formula. It's just I was like, there's no winning formula, otherwise everyone would be doing it and everyone would be big. So and I
do it because you love doing it.
That's exactly right, because I noticed then it actually I didn't really like being in a band, and I kind of was thinking, oh, maybe we should just, I can't be fucked being in a band anymore. And then I was like, got away from that thinking. I'm like, I need to enjoy being in a band and not worry about the numbers. And I thought, well, and I was talking to my bandmates, and I was like, we're never going to make the kind of money we're making at our jobs in the band. So I'm never going to be able to pay this mortgage, pay for this house, pay for my bike, pay for the car, and buy all these guitars, and pay for my kids to go to school and all that shit. I'm never going to make that kind of money. Like, that means all of us in the band are going to have to pull $2,000 a week. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, what band, if there's 5 years, is pulling $10,000 a week? It's like, that's for you to have. That's like profit. Yeah. Like, no band's doing that. You know,
can't be in it for money.
No, and so
because you're going backwards.
That's right, and that's when I kind of just thought to myself, I was like, let's just fucking play music. Let's just have fun. Let's not worry about I'm not going to make a living. Don't even worry about it. Let's just fucking enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at now with it, and it's definitely a lot more enjoyable for sure. So what are your main influences?
So I've got some weird ones. Well, not weird. Like you said before, how like you don't really listen to like a huge amount of metal.
Yeah.
Day to day, I don't really listen to metal at all. I'm more of like a rap, hip hop kind of guy.
Okay. You should send me some stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm big on I mean, they're probably people like you've already heard of, kind of thing. Like, I'm pretty big on people like Tyler, the Creator, and ASAP Rocky.
I don't know any of it, no.
No? All right, I'll send you some stuff. Because obviously in our music, you hear like a fair few like beats and like trappy sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where all of that comes from, basically. Like we have a track named Parasite Culture, which is one of our more popular ones. And the intro of that starts off with like a kind of chorused out weird guitar lead, and it's got like a beat over the top of it. It's like dun 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 dun. The idea for that entire thing came from like a rap song from ASAP Rocky called Babushka Boy, which is like one of my favorite tracks of all time. And then I've got my whole style of clean singing is more or less based around American artist named SZA. I don't know if you've heard of her before.
No.
She's like R&B, like SZA.
Oh, okay.
She's insane. Just an insane singer. And yeah, it does more like R&B kind of stuff. But it's real like kind of like emotional like type vocals.
Yeah, right. I've checked that out as well.
Yeah, so I love all of that. But in terms of like the actual metal influence, it's my number one influence from day one has been Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
That's my like number one band of all time.
They had a ton of groove as well, and the rap thing going on, and
that's everything for me. Just I had this obsession, man. Like,
is that what made you pick up a guitar?
Tattoos and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, how long have you been playing guitar?
I think I first picked up a guitar when I was about 11.
Oh, right.
When I was about 11.
Yeah.
It's like real, super random. Like we had like music classes in school and that. And it's like you get a bunch of kids, you go into a room and then there's a teacher there being like, pick up an acoustic guitar and play, like learn these chords. And it's like, you know, your basic G, D,
G.
Yeah. And then I remember like going through that lesson and then coming back the next week and the teacher was like, okay, who remembers the chords? And I'm there just like doing the chord shapes. I didn't really say anything and nobody else was obviously like paying attention. And this girl goes, he does. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then the teacher was like, all right, like show us them. And I had remembered them and I'm like, well, maybe I'm like not completely shit at this.
Yeah,
okay. And then, but I hadn't really like gotten into, I was still like heavy on like rap stuff at that age. And then my dad takes me to his mate's house one day. And I think like he was going to get on the piss there or something with his mate. And you know how when your parent takes you to like someone else's house and they're like, you know, go play with the other kids.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
He was like, go in there with the other boys, like hang out. So I go and I like walk into this room and there's like two guys in there and a drum kit and a guitar and a small amp and just weed smoke. Like I cannot see like 2 meters in front of me kind of thing. And these guys are just like, well, we're just like having a bit of a jam. And I was like, do you think? Like I'll just chill here. So I just sat there and they just start jamming and it's like dun, 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 dun,
oh
dun,
yeah,
dun. Yeah. And they start playing Killing in the Name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? And then that switch up happens like in the track. You know how the intro is like quite quick and then it just drops into the main groove?
Yeah.
When that switch up happened and it dropped into that groove, my brain
yeah.
It just like popped my brain and I was like, what is this? I need to do this. Like I need to be part of this.
Yeah.
So those two dudes are completely responsible for like this whole process.
Were they the same age as you?
No, they were older.
Oh, okay.
They were older.
How
Two guys.
How old were you?
Josh Brady and Adam Morton. So shout out to them. Yeah, they were. Shit, they might have been like in their late teens.
And how old were you?
Maybe 12.
Oh, okay, shit.
So I'm just this little ass kid.
Yeah.
Hearing this stuff for the first time. And then from that point onward, I was just obsessed. And that was one of the first songs that I like ever learned to play really badly, obviously. But yeah.
Oh, that was probably one of the first songs, or that riff. It's probably one of the first riffs I learned because my one of my older brothers, he was playing guitar, and he picked up guitar because he started doing shearing, and then I think when he was hanging around with all these old shearers, he was only in his late teens, and I think they got him into guitar, and I was probably 15 maybe, something like that, and he would have been about 17, and he was playing that. I don't really know any Rage Against the Machine. I was listening to heaps of Megadeth and Pantera and Metallica, stuff like that. And then he was playing that, and then I remember trying to learn that, and that's when I first heard that song. It was probably around the same time because I'm a couple of years older than you.
Yeah.
But I've never really got fully into that band, but I remember that was one of the first songs that I was trying to play a guitar, and I didn't really even know the song, but I was just copying what he was doing. But I remember that riff. It's definitely an iconic riff.
Yeah. Life-changing shit for me.
Yeah.
Because then, like, I ended up going through all of their music
Yeah.
and finding out that that's just a huge part of their style, that like groove and riffs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I was just obsessed with the style, and I still am. Like writing riffs today, it's like having that kind of groove is like a really big thing for me. For sure.
Definitely. Yeah, groove's pretty important for our sound as well. It's probably one of the main things I'm always going for is groove, no matter what the riff is.
Well, that's why, when I was like listening to your stuff, I was like, man, this is kind of groovy.
Yeah. So that new snippet you sent me, I fucking love how is there like a synth thing that follows the vocals, or the vocals follow that?
There's synths. I'm trying to remember like what part I sent you.
I've got it on here. We can chuck it on. Actually.
Yeah, whack it on.
Yeah,
whack it on.
I don't know how loud this is going to be. Might blow your ears. Which one's?
Of the past, just an overwhelming sense of myself to the brain. I wanna brain, I want the brain, I wanna feel the way. Fucking dead down to the knees. How could I face with my leg in the game? Run.
That's fucking cool, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, see what I mean? The vocals. What is that?
The vocals in that first little bit there.
Yeah.
So that's just layering.
Oh, okay.
It's layering with the same vocal pitched differently.
Oh, all right, yeah.
So you've got like really.
I thought it was like a synth thing or something.
No,
because I listened to the whole track and it happens a few times.
There is some. There's a section in the track that's just like a vocoder.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds like robot-y.
Yeah.
I think it's like before the breakdown. I don't know if you listened to like the whole track.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So before the breakdown, there's a
yeah, I remember one bit that stood out. I obviously don't recall how the whole track went. But I do know that stood out to me.
Yeah. I'm just trying to like just try and use like different techniques here and there, just to like keep things.
How did you come up with that idea? Did you hear that on like some other kind of music, or were you just like, I'm just going to fuck around?
Well, we've been doing a similar thing for a while, but it's generally we'll pitch a vocal down an entire octave and have it running as like in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Have it running as like a hook kind of thing. So in Blade Runner, it's that like Blade Runner got your wrist on.
Oh yeah, that's a cool fucking line too.
Yeah.
Do you write the lyrics?
No. Oh. So
that's cool.
99% of the lyrics are Jack. I'll jump in like here and there and do some little bits and pieces, but yeah, he's a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we have been doing like vocal stuff like that since our like first releases, but I guess it's just kind of scaling it up. So this time doing, 2, 3, 4 different kind of vocals all like mashed together.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
So it sounds a little like weird. Yeah. It's just like, I guess we're just trying to get a little weird.
Yeah, we're just thinking outside of the box, you know?
Yeah.
I like it, man. It's that, and that kind of things that to me are like immediately stand out and make the track memorable, because it's not the typical metal tropes you hear in songs, you know what I mean? And even the riffs on that are just pretty, they're actually kind of thrashy, that riff.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that kind of,
that
from?
It was just like, I was like, I kind of just want to write something that's like, almost got that Slipknot kind of vibe.
Yeah. What tuning is that in?
That's an E.
Oh, okay, right. Pretty low.
Yeah. Yeah, really low. So our first stuff, the Project Darkmatter EP was in F sharp, and then we went down to E for the Anatomy of Violence.
Yeah, shit. What guitar do you use?
I use one of those ESP like Arctic metal. I don't know if you've seen those.
No.
7-string baritone.
Okay.
And
So like 27 inch or 28 inch? scale?
27.
27, yeah.
And it's like matte white.
Oh, actually, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole guitar's matte white.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I was like, I need to have that.
Yeah.
I need to have that.
Yeah. White guitars.
I've got this obsession with like white shoes. And I'm like, I need a white guitar.
My missus wants me to buy white shoes, but they're too hard to keep clean.
Oh, they are.
That's like this white jumper. If I wear this when I eat food, I'll 100% spill on it.
Yeah, man.
But if it's a black jumper, I won't spill on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it goes. Yeah, buying white stuff is, man. I actually saw a thing the other day. It was a guy interviewing people at like a sneaker con kind of thing, like big shoe swap meet thing, and you know, like the Nike Air Force Ones.
No.
Well, what I'm wearing now. Anyway, they're just a big white Nike shoe.
Yeah.
He was going around to people and was like, how many times can you wear this one pair of shoes before you have to throw them out and get a fresh pair? And I think majority of people said 5 to 7 times.
Shit.
So you put them on and you wear them out 5 to 7 times, and
Don't
then
wash them?
you have to throw them out and get a new pair because they end up with a crease in them or something like that. And I'm like, there must just be this graveyard of these shoes somewhere if everyone thinks that way.
Yeah. It's pretty
Ridiculous.
wasteful, yeah.
It is.
That's our society, though, now, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm like, send them to me, man.
They'll probably manufacture it with that weak point, so the crease is easy there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, it's like
Wouldn't be
it's a
surprised.
well-known thing, yeah.
So what size strings do you use and what gauge?
Bridge cables.
Yeah, right.
So, I generally play, I think it's 11 to 85.
Do you buy your strings online or?
We do now.
Okay.
We kind of just worked out a place to get our strings from through ProFret.
Okay.
ProFret do all our guitar work, like our setups and stuff.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Steve, cool guy. And yeah, he was basically like, because I was having to buy 2 sets of strings every time to get. So the first pack I would buy is the Ernie Ball 5-string bass set.
Yeah.
And I would have to use the heaviest strings off that.
Expensive, hey, doing it that way.
Yeah, and then I would have to buy a lighter pack for the lighter stuff. So Steve found us a place where we can just put in custom orders.
Okay.
And now I get packs that are, packaged, every string's to the exact gauge that I need it.
Mm-hmm.
They even label them 1 to 7.
Yeah, right.
It's like...
It's pretty affordable, is it? Or
Yeah. I think I'll have to check on how much they are, but it's definitely a lot cheaper than me spending, $45, $50 per restring.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's just, it's ridiculous. I get some funny looks at music stores. People are like, why? What are you...
I don't even go to music stores for strings anymore. I haven't for years, actually.
Yeah, right.
But my bandmate Sam, he owns like an online string store now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, for all extended range stuff. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's got some pretty heavy gauge shit too, like even up to 90 something maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I use 90s on my backup guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's my backup guitars are like LTD Alex Wade signature, and it's standard scale.
Okay.
And I'm trying to play, F sharp and E on a standard scale guitar, and it's a terrible idea.
What guitar is that? Which one's the standard scale one?
My backup one.
Yeah, what is it?
It's man, I need to remember the exact.
Is it ESP as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be buzzy as hell, hey? Or do you just have the action real high?
It's buzzy. It's kind of got its own charm, to be honest. Like it doesn't look
Extra distortion.
Trying to be in tune is just not possible.
Yeah.
Like I've had stupidly heavy, like drilled out the tuners and stuff to try and fit like big ass strings on it, and I don't know. There's something about it. I'll still track at home with it for demos. And it's almost like it being not completely in tune or having like that extreme amount of tension just sounds sick to me.
I know what you mean, because I use some of these guitars here. I've only got one that's got an Evertune. I usually record with that. But you know, when you're going for a big open,
Yeah.
that's like perfectly in tune, and you don't get that bow.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
That, yeah.
There's two, and I'm just like, on some of our songs, I'm like, I've got to switch one of these other guitars to do like an open or something like that, because that just pulls all that, you know, when it goes briefly out of tune. Like, bow,
I like it. It's a bit of feel.
It is. I know what you mean. And that's the Evertune kind of takes that out of it.
Yeah.
It's good for just tracking riffs, but then stuff like that, I'll switch one of these other guitars for it, because it's just, and I noticed even some of our other demo stuff, whatever guitar I'm playing, I might just have a riff and then I'll start fucking writing the song in that, and I won't pick up the Evertune one, and I'll be just thrashing out whatever. And then when I do track it properly, I'm using the Evertune, and I'll have like one guitar as the old one. I'm just playing along to it recording, and I'm like, fucking, the Evertune one just has no fucking flavour at all.
Yeah.
It sounds so correct when you hear it, but it's like, I don't know. It's you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of those things I'm trying not to get too wrapped up in. It's like you're told with like when it comes to like properly recording stuff that you need to be 1000% in tune to the note. Everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
And then you get it in there and you just like
soulless.
Yeah. It's just there. Like there's no like feel to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, and I'm like, you know, you think about like the old days when bands recorded stuff, no click.
That's right, yeah.
Just like, and it was all feel.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe that's a little too far in the other direction. But like, yeah, I don't know. It kind of wigs me out. Like even in the newest track that's coming out, North of Hell, there's times in that where I hit opens because I had a 90 on my 27-inch scale guitar.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. It was just like real consistent.
It's so tight.
Yeah. So we actually tuned down the next string down.
Oh, okay.
To E. So it was just ridiculously loose and hit the opens on that. And that had all the feel.
Oh, okay. All right. That's interesting.
So it's like...
Do you have an Evertune or not?
Nah.
Oh, have you played one?
I haven't played one yet. I want to.
I'll show you some stuff after.
Yeah.
That I've been working on, and I'll show you just like there's a breakdown kind of bit in a song. It's not really a breakdown, but it's kind of a chuggy bit, and you'll hear that it doesn't have what it needs to have. Every time I hear it, I'm like, it irks me, and I'm like, I'm probably gonna have to re-record that on one of the other guitars.
I kind of like wondered because I've never had the opportunity to kind of play with an Evertune.
Yeah. If you ever want to use it, just hit me up. If you want to record anything with it, whatever.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It must be like...
It's good. It is good. Like, it's good just picking it up. I don't even bother looking if it's in tune because I know it's in tune. So I'll just pick it up, and if I just want to record it, just smash something out. I can't be fucking around. Smash it out.
See that.
And then, and it's just so consistent. It's really consistent, but I would never play leads with it on a recording.
Yeah. Okay.
Because sustain is heavily affected.
Really?
Yeah. And just the tone. Like, it sucks a bit of tone. Like, if you play that unplugged, you can hear the springs in the back vibrate and all that. And there's a bit of debate online. Like, some people reckon it doesn't affect tone. Some people reckon it does. I reckon it does. I 100% do, because I've A and B'd, say, this guitar and then that.
Yeah.
And there's a world of difference.
Yeah. No,
in the same riff. And then when you're doing leads and stuff, and obviously because that locks the strings in zones, when you try to a bend, you get a extra bend it. You know what I mean? Which I don't mind, but because I play with really light gauge strings, like 9 gauge, 9 to 66, 9 to 46, then a 66. We play in drop G, so not as low as you guys, but
that's a great amount of low.
Yeah, it is. I
think.
Yeah,
I think we're maybe like too far, but it's like
suits what you're doing.
Yeah,
I like it.
We make it work. But
yeah, you do.
In terms of even live clarity,
Yeah.
The lower you get, the like more kind of inaudible it gets.
I noticed when you do like with because we're used to playing A, drop A, and when you say you do just like your 3 bottom strings open, you know, the big open power chord sounded nice and chunky. But in G, I don't know, it just sounds weird. When it's the lower it goes, the more dissonant it sounds when you're doing open power chord. And so I just don't do any open power chords now. I don't know why, it just bothers me, but
yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you kind of got to adapt to.
Yeah. It is. I've had to get used to not doing open like ring outs like that with all 3 strings because it sounds like every time I hear it, I'm just like, fuck, it doesn't sound right. But what do you use for your tone?
So
you got a Kemper or?
Yeah, I got a Kemper. It's pretty much all Kemper. Like I use my Kemper at home for all the demoing. I kind of went through and like got some packs and stuff. Like there's some of Lance's stuff on there, Lance Prince. And then our producer / part manager / band guy, Cody, he kind of like messed with some tones. And I pretty much like solely use that. I've just recently got STL tones, like Tone Hub.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've started messing around with that because it was so annoying, like having to like unplug my Kemper, take it to jam, use it at jam, bring it back home.
So just at home, you just want to instead just at home just use your software on the computer instead.
Yeah, literally.
I tried that STL, the is it Josh Middleton one?
Oh
maybe
yeah.
Because Ben from Our Demise, we were just talking about because he used that, and he sent me some stuff, and I was like, "Fuck, that sounds good." But admittedly, I've always sucked at dialing in tones. I'm just not very good with gear stuff at all. I'm admittedly really shit.
I feel you.
I'm one of them people. I get that option paralysis where there's too many options, and then I adjust something, and then I adjust it more and more, and then it gets way worse.
Yeah.
And then I get lost, and then I get pissed off, and I just turn it off. I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'd rather just turn something on that has a cool tone.
Yeah.
And I'd use that STL thing. I don't know, it sounded too dry or something for me. It just didn't work for me. I know it works for a lot of people, so not knocking it, but I don't know. I just didn't work for me. But
I'm exactly the same. I'm not at all. You know, I see these like full neck beards online, and they're like, "Oh, I need this tone, and I'm going to do these adjustments and tweak this by this much." And I'm like, I don't. I'll sit there. I'll literally just like play with knobs for ages until like something sounds kind of good. I'll track something and just keep going like that. Sometimes it takes me like 2-3 hours just to get something like really properly usable. Yeah. But I'm terrible with that stuff. And I'm like not hugely into like gear or any of that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm the same with like Sam, the other guitarist in our band. He knows so much more stuff about gear and all that. And to me, I can't be fucked with it.
Yeah.
I'd just rather put my energy into play guitar.
Yeah.
And because I'm going to NAMM in January.
Oh, sick.
And I'm kind of thinking it's going to be an awesome opportunity, but I'm like, it's almost like a waste of me going there because there's so much cool gear that I'm going to be probably just like
goes over your head.
Yeah, it goes over my head. I'm probably going to be like, man, that's sick, but it's like there's guys that would benefit way more from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
For like just, you know, they'll just fucking, you know, veg out on all that shit, you know.
Yeah.
They'll be like, fuck, what's all these cool fucking amps and shit like that, whereas I'm just like, I got my Josh Middleton thing on my Kemper and my Wes Houck one, and that's all I need.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I feel like there's so many people now that get hung up on the tones, on the gear, all of this stuff, and they can't even play a riff properly.
I know that. Totally. I know what you mean.
With like good technique.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you so focused on this? And you haven't even learnt to play your instrument properly yet.
Yeah.
Like they'll go out and buy like a $3,000 guitar and all of this gear to learn on.
That's
like,
I know what you mean, and that's you go on those 7-string groups on Facebook on a few of them, and so many guys are like that, those neckbeards, and they've got all this super expensive shit, and they got like custom $7,000 guitars and shit, and it's just like, yeah, I know what you're saying, and that's like people that have always tried to chase like Dimebag's tone. You know, everyone's like, what did he use? There's got to be a secret in his gear. It's like, it was just the way he played. Because you listen to, say, Ola England or Wes Houck play dime stuff, that sounds really close to...
Yeah.
And they're not using... Ola might use a Mesa. So it's, Dime was using solid state stuff. And so Ola's using, say, a Mesa, or Wes might be using a diesel or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like the gear that Dime was using, but it sounds very close because it's all in the fingers.
Super similar in feel.
And that's right.
Yeah.
It's all. That's what Dime had, was that feel and that sleaziness to his playing and looseness to it. And,
Yeah.
and that's what people, they get too hung up, like you're saying, on all this semantics of gear.
Yeah.
And
Gear's only going to get you so far.
That's right.
But yeah, it's one of those things that used to really, really annoy me. Because I like, just like my family wasn't like super wealthy, like growing up or anything. So I kind of learned, you kind of just make do with what you have. So I was forced to kind of start on bare minimum and like work my way up, especially like in terms of gear kind of thing. But it's like, because I was so limited in terms of gear, it made me more creative.
That's right.
With the gear that I had.
When I say limitation creates innovation.
Yeah.
Or what is it? What's the other one? Something is the mother of innovation. Something else. Yeah, there's a saying.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like limitation creates innovation, because you have to innovate because and it makes you better for sure. It makes you think out of the box.
Yeah.
And if you got all these options, you're not going to be as creative, I don't think.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's always going to be exceptions, but but so where did you grow up?
New Zealand.
Yeah, okay. South or North Island?
North.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I lived in New Zealand briefly.
Did you?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, my stepdad was Kiwi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we went over there and stayed with his family on the South Island. I've never been to the North Island, but we travelled all around it, and then stayed in a place called like Woodside or something like that. I was like 9.
Yeah,
I think,
okay.
maybe. I might be getting that wrong. I think I was like 9 years old.
Young buck.
Yeah, and then we went to like Dunedin and Mosgiel and all them places. And it's and I remember going like a big glacier, that Fox Glacier, I think it's called.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and went to Queenstown on the cable cars and travelled around, and then shot heaps of guns because my stepdad had heaps of guns over there. So taught us how to shoot and
How it was over there for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome over there. I'd love to go back because my mum's wants to go back because obviously we've got family over there from my stepdad's side. He's unfortunately not around anymore, but but I want to go back with mum, and maybe she'll like do something with his ashes over there or something like that.
Yeah.
Who knows, but it'll be cool. I want to take my wife over there as well. She's never been, so.
Beautiful place.
It is. The scenery is fucking unreal.
Beautiful, beautiful place.
It's just cold.
Yeah.
And I'm a bitch.
Especially down south. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on the I'm from the east coast of the North Island.
Okay.
And,
so way over.
Yeah. It's I came from a small town called Wairau that's I think it's 1,400 people.
Yeah, okay.
It's real kind of like isolated. Like there's big towns either side, like an hour and a bit drive kind of thing. But it's just kind of like in the middle there, not a huge population, not a huge amount to do, to be honest. But
it's almost sometimes better.
Yeah.
Because I grew up on farms and stuff, and I remember when I came to the city, I was always bored, always just getting up to shit I shouldn't be doing. But on a farm, kind of just make your own fun out of nothing.
Pretty much.
And is the North Island, is that geographically similar to the South Island? Or is it fairly bit different as far as like landscape and
similar, I'd say. I think South Island's a little more like dense.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like maybe there's a lot more just kind of like bushland and like hill in South Island.
Okay, yeah.
I could be wrong though, but yeah,
So I remember where we lived at that when we were staying at that Woodside area. That was where my stepdad had heaps of his family. It was like a little farming town, little village thing, and there was a forest just near there. And I remember me and my brother went there at night, and there was all these glowworms. It was like glowing green, and I'll never forget that. And I think we grabbed heaps and put them in like a jar with some cotton wool. And we were like keep them, but then the next morning they were dead because I think they suffocated. But I don't know, that image of just going in that forest was so beautiful, man. And I've never seen anything like it before. It almost looks like, you know, the forests off that movie Twilight, like that super wet rainforesty look, and fucking man, it was like heaven on earth.
Yeah,
that
so nice.
Yeah, awesome scenery.
We used to go.
Oh, sorry.
I used to. I have family down south.
Yeah, okay.
And
so you've been there a few times, haven't you?
Yeah. I remember going there as a kid, and obviously it gets real cold, and like me and my cousins would like climb the fence into this school pool that was there, and the top of it's kind of frozen over, so you'd be able to pull these big sheets of ice out, and just bash each other with it. And shit. So sick, fun time.
Fucking too cold.
Yeah. A little too cold, but yeah, it was a little more kind of like more cruisy, like beachy vibes.
Yeah,
where I'm from.
Oh, righto. Yeah, that's cool. Do you go back often?
Not as often as I should. I think last time I went back might have been for my grandfather's funeral.
Okay,
maybe far out 20. I think it's 2018 or 2019. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a couple of years.
Okay.
I was trying to go back like at least once every couple of years, but man, just get busy.
Yeah.
Especially with this stuff now. It's so time consuming.
It is.
And I've got like some of my family's there at the moment. That's why I'm house sitting, like I told you before.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I've just got like too much going on.
That's especially when you're writing like doing a lot of the writing. Sometimes I kind of wish that I could just come in and just play guitar at jam and then not have to do anything else.
See, I did that in other bands. It was like I learnt the stuff, roll into jam, play my stuff, go home.
I've even thought about.
Don't even have to think about it.
I've thought about like joining bands before and going. Sometimes I reckon it'd be just fresh just to join a band and not have to do any writing or have any input.
Yeah.
Then I thought I'd probably play some of this stuff and be like, oh, fuck, I reckon I could write this a bit better.
Well, that's exactly what ended up happening with me.
Hey guys, what if we just do this with that riff? And then I'll end up just turning it into my band.
Yeah. I'm like, I reckon I can do better than that.
Yeah.
And then I remember like writing some stuff and being like, if you're chasing some new stuff, like, there you go, here's this. And they're like, oh, we don't really like want to go that direction.
We don't want to play good stuff.
Cool. I'll stay in my place.
So what's next for you guys then?
So basically going to get this release out.
When's that? Can you say when that is?
12th of September.
Is it one song?
Single.
Yeah.
North of Hell. So yeah, that'll be out on the 12th. We're touring on the 14th. Once we get back from that, I don't know what I can say and what I can't say. There's gonna be more releases.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
Can you say are they gonna be? Can you say they're singles, or is it gonna be like a big release, like
there'll be
full length kind of thing?
What can I say? I probably should have asked what I can say and what I can't
That's
say.
all good, man.
This.
I don't want to put you in a predicament.
But at the same time, I'm like, who's really going to care? My like 10,000 fan base. Yeah, so there's going to be some singles and something bigger.
Something substantial.
At some point.
Yeah.
We'll leave it very broad.
Leave him guessing.
Yeah. But we're going to stay busy. We've tried to stay as active as possible since the start. Obviously, it's a little. Sometimes we have quite a gap between releases, which we're trying to kind of shorten. But we really take our time.
Yeah.
with the writing. We're not the type of band that can just bang out a song within a couple of days, go record it and release it kind of thing. It's just not like, got to work to like a certain standard that we've set for ourselves.
It's always good to listen to it for a while because I don't know if you're the same as me, but sometimes I'll record something and I'll think it's finished, then I'll listen to it for a couple months, couple weeks, couple months, on and off, and then it'll change fairly dramatically.
I'm terrible for it.
Yeah.
I'll record something and I'll listen to it front to back, on repeat, on the way to work, on the way home from work, just constantly. And then eventually I'll end up hating it because I've heard it too much.
That's what I do, yeah. I get so sick of it. And then by the time we send it off to get mixed and mastered, then I get it back because I'm used to my mix. Then I'm like,
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. That's a trap as well. Yeah.
We're actually thinking on trying something new as well. Like, because we've seen like a few people have been working with Cody Brooks. So we're thinking maybe working with him because we work with a guy over East and the communication is hard because sometimes I want to get across an idea and it's purely through messenger or email. Yeah. And it's just, the guy does an amazing job
being there in person.
But yeah, he does a good job, not knocking the guy, and he's done all our stuff.
Yeah.
And he's an awesome dude, awesome to work with, super easy going, but it's getting now, our music's changing a bit and there's little nuances that I think are getting missed out that I think should be in there. And then I'm just like, I think it'll be easier to work with someone local. I've never worked with Cody, so I don't know.
Cody's sick.
I don't want to. I don't want to be like over his shoulder kind of thing. But I think it'd be handy to be able to go, hey man, can we catch up and maybe go over some ideas of what I had, and then you know what I mean. And even if he's open to it, maybe act as a bit of a producer. Like go, maybe you should cut that bit and do this or whatever. Yeah. Because I'm always open to good ideas for things.
He's done. He's like helped out a lot with us.
I think I need that because I get unsure of things, and then I kind of get pissed off and I get stuck, and I'm like, I need something else. I don't know what it is. I want someone else's input, and I think it'd be good to have someone else's input.
Yeah,
with someone that's going to give the right input as well. You know what I mean?
He's super good with just like structure in general, like songwriting kind of stuff. Because we've been like, obviously, we recorded our first EP with him and have consistently recorded with him since then. And he's like our fifth member, basically.
Yeah.
He's just like super important for us. And I remember like going in to record with him first. We had all our demos and stuff, and then we were in the studio, and he's kind of like, well, why don't you like extend this a little bit and like move this here, and kind of did a little bit of rearranging here and there. And at first I was like, why are you touching my shit, bro? Still, I've worked so hard on this. But then like listened to it and was like, oh, okay, that makes heaps of sense. Yeah. So he's super helpful.
That's good.
In that kind of way.
That's kind of, I think, what we need.
He's super switched on with that kind of shit.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of the touch we need to just elevate our stuff to that next level a bit. So I'll be excited to send him. I'm going to send him some stuff this weekend anyway. And see how we go with it. See what happens. Maybe he might not like it, or maybe whatever. See what happens. So I've never worked with him before, so I'm excited to. Yeah, should be good.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah. I don't know him real well. Met him a few times. Seems like an awesome bloke. Super knowledgeable. So
he's the broski.
So do you record all your stuff at home and then send it to him? How does that work? Or do you just go to his studio?
Basically just demo it at home and then get to go up to his studio and like punch everything in properly up there. Because I reckon I could record guitars and stuff at home. I just don't know if it's kind of just easier having someone else there like listening and looking at the audio while you're tracking to be like, that is whack, do that again kind of thing. Yeah. It's, just like an extra wall there.
I think I need that sometimes because I would record everything here, like all the guitars, and then I send the DI to Gareth over East, and then he usually will reamp it with a 6505 or whatever the fuck
Yeah,
he uses.
okay.
I'll just leave that to him. I'm like, whatever tone you think's fucking good.
Yeah.
And then I might tell him, I think maybe something a bit more angry or whatever with
Yeah.
the tone. But usually I'm pretty happy with what he does. And then all the synth stuff, I use all free shit because I'm new to synth. I did buy some stuff. And with levels of stuff and all that, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know if that's way too much, if that's going to fuck with the mix. So I just send it all to him and go, you do whatever you think you need to do.
What do you use for synths? And stuff?
Vital synth.
Oh, yeah.
And then some Easy Drummer has, what's it called? There's like a synth wave plugin I've got as well. Like 80s kind of sound, because I love I love that Blade Runner movie, and I love like RoboCop and all that dystopian futuristic stuff.
Yeah.
And all that cyberpunk kind of thing. I've always loved it since I was a kid.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, I just loved that, and Judge Dredd and shit like that.
Yeah, man.
And that cyberpunk game, I love that, and all
I
those.
still need to play that actually.
Deus Ex, you ever played that?
No, but I've weirdly seen people play it.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I grew up playing that, so I just love that sci-fi, futuristic city, dystopian fucking shit. I love that shit.
Hell yeah.
So so that kind of stuff. That's the sounds I've been going for lately. Shit like that. And that 80s kind of
I feel that
vibe.
Yeah, we've got I've written some stuff that's kind of like along those lines. As well, 'cause
that's
I love
cool
it too.
Yeah,
It's even like this newer one. The I don't know if you heard the intro, bumps in with that like heavy, like real aggressive kind of synth.
Yeah.
Just more stuff like that, and like sort of moody, like 80s like synthwave stuff, and I like those like rolling bass lines kind of thing. Yeah, like that's real like cyberpunky kind of thing.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah, I think I was for stuff like that. I was using a tremolo and having like one bass sound, and then it's got
hell yeah.
I put in a soft tremolo, so it was like a wave, not a chop.
Yeah, mad.
Yeah, I'll show you some stuff I've been doing.
Sick.
And there's one that sounds like you know when you put a VHS in and it has that sound where the sound stretches and then kind of goes back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
There's even an effect on there that I was using. That sounds cool, man.
That's mad.
So yeah,
See, I could have done it. That sounds way easier. I use
you're on another level to me though, man. When you hear my shit, you'll probably be like, that's fucking cool, man.
See, I'm judging you. Nah. Yeah,
I'm sure you can teach me a lot.
Serum for all of my stuff, and just like
Serum, never heard of it.
I reckon you'd go pretty well with Serum, to be honest.
How much is it?
I don't know if I even remember. Like, is it free?
Depends if you got it off torrent side or not.
Definitely didn't do that, FBI. No. Yeah.
Remind me after because I'll check it out.
If it's not free, it's cheap.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it's a lot of people use Serum.
Okay.
And what I find like real easy about it is it's got a lot of presets.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just look through the list of presets, find something that you kind of
That's probably
like.
what I'd like because I'm not good at creating shit like that.
Yeah, it gives you like a baseline, and then you can go through and make adjustments and make it sound how you want to sound from there. But it'll give you like the base settings for the sound.
Yeah, cool.
And that I find like super helpful. Like I do it all the time. I'll have my MIDI keyboard on, and I'll just flick through presets.
Yeah.
Or like I'll make a melody on the keyboard and loop it.
Yeah.
And just go through presets. Find something that sounds kind of cool. Tweak it. You can download presets as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
yeah. I'm keen to check that out because, I'm always on the hunt for something a little bit like something new that I can use and expand my repertoire a bit.
Super user friendly.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I need.
not great with that kind of
Sounds
stuff.
like you are. Your
At
stuff
all.
sounds like you got it figured out.
Yeah,
I've been trying to.
Trial and error.
Well, I've been trying to for ages. I'd been trying to add like drum and bass kind of stuff, beats to things, but I've never known how. And I was just using the normal drum kit on Easy Drum, and then using like an EQ to fucking fuck with it. And then I got is it an 808 kind of thing? you know, for like the 80s kind of drums. Then I got some free thing and I was fucking around with that. And then, so I've been trying to add some of that stuff in, but I don't have any good software for it. They're all like shit sounds.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe you can point me in the direction of something that works a bit
Hell yeah.
better. But
I'm streaming Serum all day.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, well,
look, there's probably something better. I don't know. Maybe there is, but I'm not
if it works for
usually
you.
like clued in. Yeah, I kind of just go with like what I know works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, we'll think about that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
Got anything else?
Oh,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
I have something for you.
Yeah.
Where did I put it? There you go.
What is that, a bagel? What is it?
It's probably not as good as a bagel, eh? Sorry, I tied it in a double knot there, so
Thanks, man.
you can spend an hour trying to undo that. Are you
sick.
a medium guy?
Probably large, I think, but...
Okay, good, because those run really big.
Oh,
So
cool. That's good. Awesome, man. Thank you so
That
much.
should, well, once you try it on, if
Yeah.
it's small for you or whatever, we'll suss it out. So
Appreciate that, man. Thank
no
you very
worries,
much.
man.
You're a good guy. Thanks.
I appreciate you having me on.
No, that's very
good,
cool,
yeah.
man. Sticker in there too.
Yeah, man.
Really appreciate that.
No worries.
Thanks, man. When you bring it in, I thought, this guy's bringing some breakfast with him.
Nah, it's not as exciting as breakfast, to be honest. But
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
that's just a little something for you.
That's really cool. Thank you.
No worries.
Appreciate that, man. Well, I
Easy as.
think that should wrap it up.
Sick. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, man.
No worries,
Appreciate it.
man.
Cheers.